Good morning. Welcome to your Sunday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum here with some words of wisdom for your day. And I'm just kind of smiling because alignment is occurring today. So our card aligns perfectly with an email I just read, which I will share with you. And again, and both of them fit with the message for today, which I just think is so awesome. So, waiting for a few of you to start rolling in and we'll get this show on the road. I got to get a drink. I am dry this morning. Good morning to whomever just popped on. We have our first guest. It's Lucy. Good morning, Lucy. We get our Canadian contingent right off the bat. That is awesome. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. And there's Janine. Good morning. Glad you are here. Welcome. Thank you for the sunshine. Nice and dark here still yet. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Diane. Welcome. Glad you are here. I think you're going to like today's message. It's a good one. So let's just start with our breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Peggy. Welcome, welcome. My little number counter isn't keeping up with you guys popping on, which I think is always a hoot. Good morning, good morning. Glad you're all here. Nice deep breaths. Settling into right here, right now. Opening to receiving this wonderful message. I love this message. This is the kind of message that to me feels magical. And good morning, Bonnie. Welcome. And one of the writers, I'm going to give you his take on things. He calls it luck. I don't think it's luck. I think luck is the universe disguised. So we'll see what you think of the message and how you think these pieces hold together. But for today, we have a Nature Portals card, and I love this deck. It's one of my favorite decks. Inspiration Through the Peace and Beauty of Nature by Bruce and Carol Malner, who I went and did a retreat with this fall. It was just a lovely nature retreat at Song of the Morning Ranch, which is a lovely place. If you ever want to Google and just kind of check it out, it's in Lower Michigan. Good morning, Gwen. Glad you are here. It's just a beautiful place to spend some time. So, Song of the Morning Ranch. So our card for today, I'll show you the picture first. What a gorgeous scene. So Bruce does the photography and Carol writes the prose, and I just think they flow together beautifully as a team. This one is trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. And some of you may be going, pooh, there's no such thing as intuition, blah, blah. Well, I'm going to share some stories. The first one isn't necessarily about intuition, but the other two, I think, have a huge dollop of intuition in them, and I think that it made all the difference. So, trust your intuition. Intuition is called by many different names. Your sixth sense, a hunch, a gut feeling, the still small voice within, your soul's message, however you want to view it. No matter which term you use, intuition is your ability to understand something immediately without rational thought. To understand something immediately without rational thought. It may be the nudge. Good morning, Lynn. Glad you are here. That nudge of go here, call so-and-so, do this. We get those inner guidances, those nudges, but they tend to be quiet. They tend to be rather quiet. So if we're busy and bustling around, we oftentimes miss them. So to take the time every day, and I notice we are at my favorite number 8 for people who are on right now. This is awesome. Take the time today to just tune in periodically. Quiet yourself. Take a pause. So maybe I'm going to make stuff up here. You're outside putting stuff in the garbage can, prepping for tomorrow. Pause. Take some nice deep breaths. Notice what's around you. Do you hear birds? Can you hear wind going through trees? Can you hear vehicles off in the distance? What do you notice? What do you smell on the air? Spending some time just sinking into the moment then. And what am I being guided to do, to feel, to think, to be, etc., etc. Although intuition is a natural process, it takes practice to tune into the intuition's subtle cues. I think as children we're really good with this, but over time it's kind of trained out of it. You don't really feel that way. Get over it. Come over here. Let's do, and get to work, blah, blah, all the stuff that takes us away from that intuitive part of ourselves. The calm stillness found in nature can help you quiet your rational mind so you may access your intuition more easily. Remember, you know more than you think you do. Gee, does that sound kind of similar to someone's tagline? Huh. So the quote, and I was trying to pull this quote the other day on here and bastardized it a little bit, but the gist is the same, regardless of whether we're talking about conscious mind and subconscious mind or intuition and rational mind. So it's a quote from Albert Einstein, brilliant man. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. So in other words, we're so focused on rational mind and doing and all the other things that come from the divine masculine that we have eschewed the divine feminine, which is that intuitive part of ourselves, and being receptive and open and allowing ourselves to receive the messages, where we're supposed to go, what we're supposed to do, who we're meant to be, what our purpose is, all that stuff that tends to come out of the divine masculine or feminine. So again, there's the card. So then, before I even looked at the card, I got an email from Hay House. And if you're not familiar with Hay House, it is a publishing company that was started by Louise Hay back in the day. And the last story actually references that beginning. And is very focused on self-help, self-care, the intuitive aspects, the divine feminine, etc. So this is the newsletter from Reed Tracy, who is the CEO of Hay House at this point. So there were 3 stories that were shared. He says, highlighting the importance of luck and how you never know what is going to transform your life. And I actually chose to send this email to a friend of mine who's struggling with a whole lot of crap right now and feels like she's very buried under and there's no way she's ever going to dig out, etc., etc. To show her, this is 3 instances where some small thing or some large thing made a big difference in the outcome of someone's life. So the first story that Reed Tracy shares is he was reading an interview with Charlie Munger, who helped Warren Buffett build Berkshire Hathaway. The interview was done a week or 2 before he passed away at age 99. Charlie was reflecting on how much luck played in his success, and he shared an incredible story from his childhood. When he was about 7 years old, he and another child were playing on a swing set in front of a house. A rabid dog appeared and bit his friend, who ended up passing away. Charlie recounted that it easily could have been him. He was literally inches away from dying, only to go on and become one of the most successful business people of all time. Again, he calls it luck. I wouldn't necessarily call that one intuition, but that something that happens changes the trajectory forever. And in this case, it was Charlie's luck, the other kid's misfortune, but that kind of the a take on the 3 feet from gold idea. So, second story. Watched a just released interview of Oprah Winfrey and Jamie Kern-Lima, who's a new Hay House author. If you don't know Jamie Kern-Lima's story, she's the one who, in her living room, created IT Cosmetics that went on to be sold to L'Oreal for, I forget how much, 1 billion dollars. And if you read her book, her second book is Worthy. The first book, can't remember the title, but it's her story. And I was in awe reading her story about how much she persevered. She'd get a no, she'd come back at it. She'd get a no, she'd come back at it. Way beyond what the rest of us probably would keep going, right? But I love those stories. You know, the Colonel Sanders story, the Michael Jordan story, all those stories of people who persevered And I do love the title of first book, Believe It. There we go. Thank you, Cindy. I knew you'd fill in the blanks for me. Believe It. It's a great book. Great book. And for those of you who are not familiar with thriftbooks.com, great company. You can get books for cheap, $4.99, $5.99, whatever. And once you have a $10 order, shipping is free. I love thrift books. And you can make a favorites list. So there's a little heart there once you create your thing, a favorites list. And then they'll send you emails when that particular book is available. So I just got an order yesterday. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. So back to the Oprah thing. So she was talking about the release of The Color Purple and how much that movie has meant to her over the years. She fell in love with the book, did everything she could to get the role of Sophia in the original movie, but she didn't know anything about movies or anyone in the industry. At the time, she was hosting her morning show called AM Chicago. Quincy Jones had taken a red-eye to Chicago and happened to see Oprah on TV as he was getting out of the shower. She got a call and was asked to audition, which she did. After not hearing back from the casting agent, she called him and was told that real actresses had auditioned for the part and not to call him, he would call her. Oprah thought there was no way she would get the part and assumed it was probably because she was overweight. Look at assumptions here. So she went to a health retreat. After a lot of praying, crying, and trying to let go of her desire for the role, there was a moment where she physically felt a release. And in that very moment, a woman approached her telling her she had a phone call. It was Steven Spielberg, the director of the original movie. He offered her the role, and he told her if she lost 1 pound, she could lose the job. As Oprah says, her experience in The Color Purple completely changed her life. And none of this would have happened if Quincy Jones hadn't seen her on TV in that Chicago hotel room. So, again, Reed Tracy's making the point that this is luck. I would say it's divine providence. The universe steps in. She had a desire in her heart and soul. She put it out to the universe and allowed the unfolding, and it did. So then he says, I love this one, I know a thing about unexpected twists in life. 35 years ago, I was a CPA working in an accounting firm across the hall from Hay House. So that, again, that's Louise Hay's publishing company. Louise Hay had been on the Oprah Winfrey Show and the Phil Donahue Show in the same week in 1988, and she came to our CPA firm seeking help. And guess who was assigned to help? That lucky moment changed the course of his life forever. So he's now the CEO of Hay House. So 3 stories of unfolding, 3 stories of allowing how things go. We like to think we have control. And the tighter we hang on to control, I talked about this the other day, the more easily we feel out of control. Here's our fist, when we're gripping, we really can get to the point where it's so close to the edge, good morning, Robin, glad you are here, that we are tilting toward losing control. Release, let go, allow. This hand can hold something. When it's clenched in a fist, nothing can get in there. You can't receive when you're coming from that tight, clenched, controlling place. So, right there, nice deep breath, please. We're open to receiving. It comes our way. We allow. We listen for that still inner voice. Go here, not there. Do this, not that. Be this, not that. We have that guidance there. Surrender. Yes, that was our word from the other day. Surrender. And again, surrender is not the same thing as quitting, as giving up. Surrender is letting go, allowing the flow, moving into the flow, letting it take you where you're meant to go, even if you don't know where you're going. The old Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. saying, you don't need to see the whole staircase, just take the next step in faith. And that's intuition, that's allowing. That's working with, co-creating with the universe instead of fighting the flow. So for today, here's our card. Show you that pretty card again. Trust your intuition. Practice trusting your intuition. Okay, I don't know why I'm getting this hit, but I'm getting this hit. I'm going to honor it. I'm going to go with it. Let's see where it takes me. Practice. Practice saying yes to those still inner voices that want you to hear them. All right? So that's our reading for today. Have an awesome Sunday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.